Hello and welcome. I'm Elaine Canyon, sweetly writing happily ever after, one book at a time. And in this video, I've got tips and tricks for discovery writers. I have another Preptober video today for you. And today I wanted to talk about community. When you go into NaNoWriMo, it involves a lot of crazy hoops that you're jumping through to try and make sure that you manage to write 50,000 words in 30 days or however many days you actually have. And doing that by yourself can often be overwhelming. Now, there are people out there who they thrive in that environment. And if you are one of those people, awesome. You can totally skip this video because this video is about finding people to create your community so that you have support and help as you go through this chaos that is NaNoWriMo, because it is chaos. So I wanted to talk first about how there is community in NaNoWriMo. There is a forum system that's set up so you can be able to talk to people through the forums. You also can set up your own groups. I've done that before. The interface with NaNoWriMo is difficult. It's not super smooth, but depending on where you live, there's usually what's called a regional liaison. And it's someone who volunteers with NaNoWriMo to help organize and create community based on geographical location usually. So the liaison, the NaNoWriMo liaison for the unincorporated parts of Utah that don't have their own set is Jessica Guernsey, which is how I got to take her class. It's how I've gotten to know her. She's fabulous. And she had the foresight and just really brilliant understanding of how technology works that she created a Discord server. And so we have a Discord server, and unlike a lot of groups, we actually are reasonably active all year round, but we are super active in October for Preptober and November during Nano. We do write-ins that are virtually done through the Discord app. We do games. Jessica's amazing and she'll do prizes sometimes. It's just a really great way to help you not feel like you are completely and totally alone, because it's easy to start to feel isolated in writing anyway. But when you are doing NaNoWriMo and you're trying to force that many words into that short amount of time, it can get overwhelming, especially if you can't give yourself all 30 days to be able to work in November. It crunches really quick. And having other people who are going through that with you is helpful. You don't feel so isolated, you don't feel so alone, and it helps you to keep that positive attitude up. So what happens when, let's say, you go look on the NaNoWriMo website, you put in your area, there isn't a regional liaison, or there is a regional liaison and they don't really do anything? In those scenarios, there's other opportunities out there. There is the ability to get onto Facebook. There's tons of NaNoWriMo groups. There's tons of writing groups. All of those things exist on places like Facebook. And you can find people in there who already have nano groups set up that are happy to welcome you in. You also can find writing groups in Circle. Fictionary has their entire setup in Circle, and we have a nano group that we've pulled out of the romance community inside the Fictionary Circle community, and we created a little nano group from there. So if you're willing to put yourself out there just a little bit online, it's a lot easier to find NaNoWriMo groups than you might think it would be. Another thing that you can do, if you are absolutely 100%, I do not want to be putting myself out there online, then you can go to your local library, you can go to coffee shops, you can go to other places that are physical meet-in places, and you can put up posters. So I was at a library at a city near mine a little while ago, and I actually saw a sign that said, hey, we're making a NaNoWriMo group, scan the QR code and we'll get you the information. That is an option, and you can be the one who drives that. If you really can't find anything at all, you can drive that. And there are often people who they won't drive that, but they really, really want to be involved. And so they will be more than happy to scan the QR code or to take the phone number or go to the website, whatever it is, in exchange for being able to have community around them with NaNoWriMo. So there's options and places that you can go. And really, if you just start putting yourself out there saying, hey, I'm participating in this thing and I want people to be in it with me, you'll be surprised how fast you'll find people. Especially people who normally wouldn't have reached out, but now that they know you're also in NaNoWriMo, they're more than happy to reach out and be in the trenches with you. So the question then becomes, what do you use community for? For a lot of people, the community is simply just a way to have someone else to gripe to, because it gets hard trying to get that 1,667 words a day or more if you are not able to write every single day in November. So getting that word count down can get strenuous and tiring and exhausting, and having someone else who's in it with you that says, yeah, this is hard, that can be a game changer in whether or not you finish, because that other person acknowledging that you're struggling and that they're struggling too, that can be the motivator for your brain to be able to say, okay, well, I'm not in this alone. Let's do it. The other thing community does is it gives you chances to write with other people. And that can be helpful in that you can bounce ideas off of them. So the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit about writer's block specific to NaNoWriMo. I will have a different video on just writer's block in general for discovery writers. But next week's video is going to be about writer's block in NaNoWriMo. And you're going to see that being able to bounce ideas off of another person and just kind of take anything that they say and run with it can be really helpful when your goal is reaching 50,000 words in 30 days or less. It also makes it fun. It can be fun to have someone to say, hey, this is my cool story idea, especially if you're not normally somebody to share your story ideas, or if you don't have a lot of people in your life that normally want to hear about your stories and what your stories are about. NaNoWriMo is a safe place to know that people want to know what you're writing about. Writers are really good at distracting themselves from writing. And if we can distract ourselves from writing by listening to what your story is about, so much the better. And then finally, community is important because you have someone cheering you on. I always like to be the cheerleader in the groups that I join. I like to be the person who cheers people on. I'm not great at it, mostly because I forget to get on these groups and actually participate. But if you get into these groups, if you yourself are a cheerleader, you will always get someone willing to cheer you on as well. And in these groups, there's usually at least 2 or 3 people who are trying their best, especially whoever organized the group. They're trying their best to cheer everybody on and encourage everyone to keep moving. I highly suggest that if you are a person who likes community, take this October and seek out a Nano group. And if you have a Nano group already, start becoming more active in it. Start participating a little bit more so that way when the write-ins happen and when you start to feel the slip of, oh, this sucks and maybe I don't want to do it, that you have support and community for people to lift you up and say, no, you can do this. We're in this together and we can make it happen. If you have a NaNoWriMo community you absolutely adore, drop it in the comments. I'd love to check it out. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It helps other authors find it. And if you want to know more about writer's block for discovery writers specific to NaNoWriMo, then make sure you subscribe. Next week that video will post, and I also post videos about discovery writing, cover design, and self-publishing on a shoestring budget. I hope to see you again soon.